Inspired by kingdom principles that work for you.
This your boy, Mr. Bush T here. I hope you bring your singing voice, cause I can need you to help me on this one. Repeat after me. Drinking Bush tea, drinking Bush tea, drinking Bush tea. So you is drink Bush tea? Oh my googity. Y'all sound like y'all got it. Well, now this one here, this is it. So sing.
Welcome, good day everyone. We'd like to thank you and welcome you to Good Eats. My name is Oscar Stuart. I am your host for Good Eats. And today we are going to be discussing treating and healing ourselves with leaves from medicinal plants, what we here in the Bahamas and by extension in this region call bush medicine. First of all, I'd like to say that at RBNTV and here in Good Eats, it is our aim to empower and transform individuals from a positive mindset to transform themselves by the mind, body, and soul. Now, today we know that many persons in today's society like to run to the pharmacy and get an abundance of pills and medication to fill prescriptions. But there are some of us out here that prefer a more holistic treatment, and some of us, like myself, who prefer homeopathic natural remedies. And so today we'll be discussing some of those alternatives and be able to treat ourselves as best as possible, as much necessary to probably prevent certain ailments that we all tend to suffer from. As my mama used to say, an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. And so today, we are going to explore some of these various options. Okay, so our guest today, folks, thank you for waiting there first. Our guest today, I need not give him much introduction because he will introduce himself to you. Here, this is our man here in Freeport, Grand Bahama. He is the Bush Tea Man, known as Mr. Excitement, a.k.a. Mr. Bush Tea, and we're gonna not hesitate to bring him out. We have none other today than Mr. Excitement himself, Mr. Bush Tea Man, Fenrick Russell. Come on out, Fenrick.
Hey! What's going on, Mr. Stuart?
Hey, Fenrick, good to have you here. Thank you. We enjoy you being able to make the show today and give us as much information as possible as it relates to your products that you make of these indigenous plants that we have here in the Bahamas, and show us all of or just some of the uses that these bush teas and juices that you have can be beneficial to us.
Yeah.
And before we get into that though, Mr. Russell, Mr. Excitement, as we can call you.
Take it easy.
Let me just ask a few questions. First and foremost for the viewers, tell us what sparked your interest into getting into bush tea, the making of bush teas, please.
For the sake of the clarity, I want to be able to speak properly. So I'll unveil my mask, unveil my face. But I tell you, one of the things that I could say has truly been my motivation over the years, Oscar, has been the fact that Grammy loved it. Granddaddy loved it, and those were the two people who raised me. Yeah. I could always remember Grammy saying, "Boy, go get me the thing what I put on my knee," or "You remember the thing what I rub on my hand last week? Go get me some of that." I could remember Granddaddy saying, "Boy, this is the thing what good for the heart." And a couple of years later, I realized what he was talking about when he said "good for the heart." So those were my main motivation. I tell you, I had an experience, I want to say this quickly, I had an experience that kind of just drove the nail home. There was a Catholic priest through my corner. I grew up to 3rd Street Grove there in Nassau. And I remember I used to go by, just to try and make a couple of dollars, And I used to go by the whatever you call it, by the place where they used to live on the yard. And this day I went there, and the Catholic, the one who normally used to be the priest, was missing. So this other Catholic priest was there standing to the door. And I was like, good afternoon. I usually just come and do little errands for Father so-and-so, and he just give me little money and such and such, and I waiting for him to either send me on an errand or give me $1. Well, he looked at me like this, and he said, well, you know, the hibiscus is edible. And I just do it, but hibiscus, I don't know hibiscus, I want $1. You know? But that stuck with me to the point where here I am today making plenty drink from hibiscus all over this island, and people drinking them up.
And most persons don't know they could use hibiscus to make some type of beneficial drink from.
You're absolutely right.
Okay, and so for you, tell us why, right? So that's what sparked your interest. And so tell us why is bush tea should be the way that we should go.
You know what? Why not? I guess is the easier question. Because realistically, I don't know if you realize, but remember, before we knew anything but aspirin, we knew but fever grass.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Yeah, before anybody knew anything but getting Panadol and things like that, and all kind of different cold medicine. Mama used to send you in the back of the yard, say, child, go get some lime leaf and boil that up, or some Cersei and XYZ. So, you know, it was only natural for me because all my life my cousins, my family members can always tell you I was always in the kitchen mixing up something. You know, so why not is the easier question for me because it was something that I just loved doing and I realized that it's always been good, you know.
Yeah, so you've been doing this quite a while now. You've been into this stuff, I guess, from you.
Yeah, I've been making bush tea literally from I was about, maybe about 4 or 5 years old. I was making something, mixing up some kind of concoction. Wow. However, I got serious about it as a young adult when I remember that granddaddy used to say the thing was good for the heart. You know, I got a little more serious about it, you know, and started making concoctions to make me more of a vigorous young man in my younger days. Yeah. You know, and then obviously, some 6 years ago, I had a conversation with myself. You know, I had a conversation, it was a board meeting, and I met with myself, and I knew the Lord was there, so it was for us. You know, and I started to remind myself of what I really like doing, what I really like, what I really want to do futuristically, and I believe I can do without any hesitation and be a blessing not only to my family, but to the people around me.
Very good, very good. With this said, how easy? We know that most of these products that you use to make your teas and your juices, like you say, are indigenous here to the virus and to this extension, to this region rather, by extension. Most of your products, how easy do you find it to find them? How accessible are they to you?
Ooh, good question. I tell you, if you had asked me this about 10 years ago, I would have tell you plenty of stuff I can't find. Simply because, I tell you what happened. During the period of, obviously, from my granddaddy started introducing me to bush, Grammy started introducing me to bush, obviously there was maybe a big chasm or a big space in time, where as a young adult, there were only certain bush that I focus on, obviously, you know, because we only had certain interests as a young man, you know, so henceforth, once I now became, you know, decided that I wanted to do this as a business, it was a challenge because plenty of stuff I just didn't remember what they look like. I remember the name of them. I remember somebody might have told me what they're good for, but I just did not remember what they look like. So it took a whole lot of researching and going, sitting with the elders. I sat with plenty of elders who say, now this the copper robin, this here you call this one the bay flower, you know? So I had to literally reschool myself, you know? So nowadays, good God, I could tell you where to find stuff without even being there. I could send you all over this island and tell you what where. You know?
For the products that you use, the bush and those products that you use to make your juices and teas, do you find that you come into farmers who grow these regularly, abundantly?
Interesting. And the answer to me, as I would have done some research, no, I don't. You know, and the good thing about it though is there's so much just propagated all around the island, you know, that is so easily defined. Now, obviously, you want to talk about sustenance and maintenance. Those things are important. So I'm in the process of personally doing that. Even though I have my little backyard farming going on, I'm in the process as a business to advance it to the point whereby I can always have what I'm looking for.
So you like backyard farming too?
Good God, man, I love the ground.
Yeah, because they say you're the man who make bush tea sexy. You turn bush into something sexy. Okay, and so when we come back, Mr. Russell, we will let you show some of your products to our viewing audience. And so we'll be right back after that. Okay, folks, so thank you for waiting with us, and we're back now with Mr. Excitement himself, the Bush Tea Man, Fenrick Russell. And so what you see here now is some of Mr. Russell's products and some of the bush that he gets his material from to make his juices and his teas. And so first we'll start with the Cornucopus erectus, what is known as the buttonwood.
Somebody been doing it.
Yeah, so tell us about your buttonwood tea.
Listen, thank you so much, man. You caught me off guard just now. I didn't expect one like you've been doing your homework.
I got did my homework for you, Mr. Russell.
I tell you what I like about buttonwood sage is when I was first introduced to buttonwood sage was a gentleman. And he said, you know where I could find some sage? So I said, because I knew I had an idea what it looked like. I wasn't as familiar with all of the benefits. I said, man, I don't sleep good. So I have problems sleeping. And that's the only thing would this help me to sleep.
Okay.
The buttonwood sage. And,
okay, and so with this buttonwood, like you said, I went and did my little homework. I see it's also referred to as the white mangrove, and a lot of other ailments that is good for. It serves as a laxative. It's good for coughs and colds, and it's also a good blood tonic.
Yeah.
So it helps strengthen the blood, and so now with that, like you say, I guess it helps put us to sleep, and maybe I might have to check out some of that when it's time for me to get to bed. Okay, and so now what do you have here?
The Noni tea. Listen, this here has become a friend of mine. In '99, some friends of mine introduced me to the fruit, the actual fruit juice, Noni juice. Back then, child, nobody wanted to drink that because, it tasted bad.
And it smelled bad. Yeah.
However, for the more mature audience, I'll do it more in a dignified way.
Yeah.
The first time, Mr. Stuart, Mr. Good Eats, that my wife ever asked me if I was using something different, was actually when I started drinking the Noni juice. So henceforth, I was persuaded of this one thing.
You hear that, fellas?
I was persuaded. I'm gonna tell you something about Noni. Noni has become so, in Nassau especially, Noni has become almost like the wild almond. There was a time, basically about 20 years ago, you hardly ever saw a Noni tree anywhere in the Bahamas. But over the past 20 years, Noni has gotten so propagated all around, especially Nassau. And Noni, if people only knew the benefits, Noni has about 150 odd nutrients and different minerals and so forth. But one of the key elements, I want to say this quickly, Noni has something called Pro09. Pro09 literally is like a thermostat. When it hits the stomach, it becomes something called 09. And when 09 is activated, 09 acts almost like the big bad bully that goes into the body, just correcting any area of imbalance. Whether your blood pressure too low, whether you're too high, whether your energy level too low. As a matter of fact, if you need to sleep, Noni is going to help you to literally start to wind down and won't sleep and go to sleep. So that's my good friend.
Yeah, and I see that this stuff here has been around for a long, long time. Even used by the early Polynesians for a number of different ailments as well. Okay, and so tell us now what you have here.
Ooh, I don't even know if I want to talk with you right now because he was my good friend. This here, I just did a video, as a matter of fact. I don't know if y'all would have seen it on Facebook, talking about her. I call her Tabby.
Interesting that you say that because once again, the scientific name for Tabby. Look that up as well. Tabuya.
Bahamensis.
Bahamensis. Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely right. Thank you, Oscar, for doing your homework.
Yeah, I had to be able to interact on your level.
So Tabby, in 2005, we had a group come here from Alabama, doing some research, and man, listen here, they went all over Abaco finding all kind of different plants, but they fell in love with Tabby. They say Tabby has more uracilic acid than you could shake a stick at. Uracilic acid, for those of us who don't know, it is only one of the best kept secrets when it comes to regulating blood pressure. the best kept secret when it comes to regulating your blood sugar, the best kept secret when it comes to cutting fat, cutting weight, and building muscles. Okay, if you go and ask somebody who bulks up, when they use it in the gym, they use some 4,000 milligrams minimum per serving, which tells you that you could drink so much 5-finger and you ain't got to worry about whether it's too much you're drinking. Okay, of course it has a whole lot of other nice minerals and vitamins, but that's the one key element that I really fell in love with.
This stuff here, I've been hearing about this 5-finger tea from my probably I was only 5 years old, and you was in the 5 fingers, and apparently it's been indigenous here to the Bahamas for, I guess, as long as we've been around, and the Lacayan archipelago.
Yes.
And it grows also while in Cuba and even in Florida.
Yes.
So for all our Florida family and friends watching, you could go out and look for your 5-finger and see if you could
good stuff.
Get some good stuff. And so, last but definitely not least.
This is your favorite, I think I am.
Yes, it is one of my favorites indeed.
Yes, Mr. Fever Grass.
Fever Grass.
If you was Bahamian, let's put it like that. If you was Bahamian, you should know what fever grass is. You know, if you know nothing else but bush tea, when they say bush tea, the first thing should come to your mind is fever grass.
Yes, and with this fever grass, Fenrick, when we came to the state of where we found ourselves with this COVID-19 pandemic, this was one of the first things recommended for many persons to start drinking more fever grass tea. So the myriad of uses for it is
it's phenomenal.
Yes.
It's you know, if there's one plant that I can compare this to, it would be the moringa. You know, we probably could talk about that on another time, but fever grass is like a multivitamin, you might as well say. Loaded with all of the essential B vitamins, especially B6, which is crucial in regulating hormones, especially for women who want breastfeed and so forth like that. And, you know, it's just amazing. So, yeah, good God, we could talk all day about fever grass.
Well, actually, this we could talk all day here about this topic because I know these are just a few of your products, and so we're just scratching the surface as it relates to all the bushes, because in this country, in this region, and even in the Americas by extension, North America, and even the South America, there are so many different type of trees that have plants and flowers and leaves with so many medicinal purposes that we could just barely scratch the surface. Like you say, when we remember back in the day, Grammy doors, we never know Grammy and Granddaddy to run and they all in the pharmacy standing on line to get some pills.
In the bush.
And like you say, for the men who want to straighten their back and their manhood, we have it right here. Mr. Russell has it right here. Absolutely. And so Mr. Russell, I thank you for coming in and definitely looking forward to you bringing some more of your product. But before you go, please tell the viewers how can they reach you on Facebook, any of your, how to find you.
You'll find me definitely on Facebook, Mr. Bush Tea. You'll find me on Instagram, Mr. Bush Tea. And then, of course, you know, 4424553, that's me, Mr. Bush Tea.
Thank you, Mr. Bush Tea. Okay, ladies and gents, thank you. So, boys and girls, now, I got my cup. So by now you viewers should know the routine. And one of these products here by Mr. Excitement is in this cup. And so for those of you, you know what to do. Go to the YouTube channel, leave your comments, and see who can come up with the correct. We got the buttonwood, the noonie, the 5-finger, and the fever grass. And so for any of you who can guess the correct answer to what's in this cup, I can take a little sip of y'all because there's some good stuff. So for any of you that can guess, we will give you the tea of your choice from Mr. Bushman himself, Mr. Excitement himself. You could go leave your responses, and the first correct response, we will give you a jug of Mr. Russell, Mr. Excitement, Mr. Bush Tea himself, one of his, I wouldn't use the word concoction because he knows what he's doing. Like he said, he's been doing this from before he was a teenager, as we put it here in this part of these parts of the woods. So, Mr. Russell,
yes, sir.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
And I think I'm definitely going to have to be reaching out to you a little bit more often because I want to get some good sleep in the night.
Right.
And yeah, of course, I want to straighten my back. I want to straighten my back for when it's definitely necessary.
Yes, yes.
And so, everybody, we thank you for tuning in again. I hope you enjoyed our guest today because, man, he's live. He's live. You can check him out on Facebook. Look him up. If you need some of the good bush tea, you don't know how to mix it yourself, so this is your man. Ladies and gents, everyone, we now come to the segment of my color of the day that I chose today to be white. And I'll tell you why, because white represents purity. We got here the buttonwood, the white mangrove. When you look at these teas and these trays, how much more pure can you get than this? You don't need those products that big pharma raping us with, and who knows what good they're doing in there anyway. These are the products here that our great-great-great-grandparents have been using. And so we encourage each and every one of you to go as natural as you can. You save more money, you have a better idea of what's going into your body and your family's body, and they work. Guaranteed. Listen, Grammy and Granddaddy ain't gonna lie to us. They work. And so we advise each and every one of you to give it a try and stay pure in thoughts, in acts, mind, body, and soul. And before we leave, we just want to remind you to look at us on Facebook, RBNTV, and YouTube, RBNTV Studios, and all our social media links. Hit us up, leave your comments, and let us know how you feel about the show. And don't forget to tune in next week for another exciting episode of Goodies.
You're watching RBNTV. We are networking, promoting, we're scoring points for you, proclaiming, declaring, and to encourage you. No matter the problem, we will enlighten you. We hear you, please listen. There is a point of view. You're watching RBNTV. We're transforming minds, empowering lives, inspired by kingdom principles that work for